Hi, my name is CC Bookout, and I've been a potter since the early 70s. You could say that I'm an aging hippie, although I never was really a hippie, but that's when I started doing pottery, and I've kept my hands in clay ever since. Um, this is my workstation where I do my throne work. Over the years, I've done throne work, I've done slab work, and I've done coil work. And I still do all three now. This is my workstation, and these are some of the pieces that I have done on the wheel. You can see that I've altered them a little bit. I'm also a knitter, and these are bowls for holding yarn, and the yarn comes out these little holes, and it's dipped so that the yarn knows where to come out. And
is this already bisque fired, or it's just?
This is bisque fired. It's partially finished, and it's waiting for glazing. And this is also bisque fired. You'll notice that this is a different color clay, and you'll notice that it's textured and more irregular than my throne pieces. This is done by hand, by the coiling technique, and this is a little piece of wood that when I was pressing on the inside, I pressed on the outside with this to make the texture. And I shaped it.
It looks very natural.
Yeah, it's from a tree, actually. And this is a lobed bowl. One of the things I like in pottery is to imitate things from nature, and a lot of vegetables and flowers and fruits have lobes in them, and I've done a series of lobed things, and this is a lobed bowl. This is also just bisque fired. It's not finished yet.
Are you going to actually fire it with glaze, or you like the look the way it is?
No, I'm going to put glaze on it. I'm waiting to get results from a firing to figure out what finish I want to put on it. That goes the same for this piece down here, which is done by the same method, only without a texture tool, and I actually formed this with coils. It's called the Eastern Throne Coil method of coiling.
And it's a female figure, no?
It's a female figure, and it's very, very strong in the construction technique. And
that's beautiful.
These pieces over here were also done with the coil. This reminds me of a seed pod, and it's glazed and ready to go up to Cold Spring for a firing. It has various slips and glazes on it, and not glazes, the glaze is just on the inside down to here, and the rest is slips, and these little dots are going to be black in the final firing, I'm hoping, and this should have like a sparkle of like a white glow around it, and this will be a flashing slip. It will bring out the color of the slip. This one is another one of my lobe pieces, and this one is glazed in a wood fire friendly glaze. And the reason I'm glazing so heavily on these pieces is because the sculpture clay that I use does not attract the ash as well as some of the other clays that I use. But the other clays don't work for hand building and sculpture.
And we can see the shapes. Very organic.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was hoping for. And over here, this is another organic shape that is based on like a fruit or a gourd shape. And this is not yet bisque fired. This is just green dried clay. And if I were to put this in water, it would melt down into clay again.
I like the texture of it on the outside.
That was made with a little scrapey tool.
So this is not the quality of the clay, it's actually made intentionally.
It's partly with the quality of the clay and partly with the texture tool that I use to bring up the, the reason it's so bumpy is that it has a lot of fired ground up clay in it called grog. Grog is inside the clay to give it strength, and that's also the reason that it doesn't attract glaze, because the glaze doesn't stick to these high fire groggy materials. So I have to figure out something to do with the outside of these and the inside so that it's more interesting than just matte clay.
Actually, it already looks gorgeous.
Okay, and this one, this is, you can see that not all pieces that are fired are successful. During the firing, there was a piece that leaned into this, and although it came loose, it left a scar on the pot. So this is a reject. It can't be used, although, you know, somebody might like it. It has pretty sides to it. If you turn it to the wall, the side with the scar on it.
It has this red flame on it, very nice.
This is another problem that can happen. This one happens to be a solid bottle that was meant to hold flowers, and for some reason it leaks on the bottom, and so I have taken that off of. If it looks like it should hold water, I want it to hold water. If it doesn't get sold. Mm-hmm. These are some pieces that I'm getting ready to take up to Cold Spring. These are glazed. They're bisqued and glazed, and you'll notice that a large portion of them is unglazed. That's because during a wood firing, the ash from the firing, which takes place over 4 days and nights, will cover the piece and give it a natural glaze from the ash. It doesn't need to be covered all over with glaze. And it will go up to a very high temperature and be very, very strong. It's actually a porcelaneous clay that has a material in it that causes it to react to the flames, and they call it a flashing slip that's in there. And these are also glazed. This is not a glaze on here, except at the top. The very top is glazed. I never put glaze too far near the bottom for fear it will drip onto the shelves. And this is an oxide coloring. It's called Deco Black, and it will supposedly come out with different shades of gray and black in the firing. I can show you in the finished pots over here some of the Deco Black that was used before. It's not strictly a black. It has, because it's made up of oxides of metals, it has blue tinges in it, and it has different coloration in it.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of unpredictable what will happen when you make it?
Yes, you just have to trust. In every firing there are some prizes and there are some duds. So these are ones that I consider to be good, and they just came from a show at on the South Shore of Long Island, and I learned to make lids that have a flange on the inside of the pot, because the lids have to be lifted up off of the pot so that they don't get glazed shut. This went in with no glaze on it at all. You can see that it has quite a bit of shine and, you know, natural gloss, and it's all from the ash. There's also, if you look at a pot all the way around, there's usually a hot side and a cold side. The hot side will have the deposits of ash, and the cold side will be more matte and not as shiny. That's what happens during the firing. This is another example of a hot side and a cold side.
It's a beautiful piece. Okay, wonderful. CC, thank you so very much.
Well, it was a pleasure seeing you.